Hey everyone, Chris here from VarsityGaming, and welcome back to another episode of Siege School. In the last episode, we discussed the strategies of roaming and the do's or don'ts. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about countering roaming. And before I get into it, last week I asked you guys if you would be interested in an episode on map knowledge. A lot of you responded very positively and asked me to do one, and I'm planning to do it sometime soon. The main issue I'm facing right now is trying to talk about a lot of different maps in a very short amount of time, so it is very possible I might just make one episode per map and really go in depth to each location and each area of the map. And with that covered, let's get into the information segment of this video. Countering roamers is all about coordination and teamwork. What you should really be doing is coordinating with your teammates to try to track them down and then corner them off. When you're chasing a roamer by yourself, you're giving them the ability to run away from you in the complete opposite direction and have no one blocking their path. But if you're countering with a teammate, you can pincer them in or even coordinate to push them to one corner of the map where they can't escape. Although this can take a decent amount of time, it is usually worth the effort. Leaving roamers alone allows them to come in behind you guys and flank you, and usually pick off one or two people when you're least expecting it. And by picking them off early, you're also making it harder for the rest of the defenders to hold site. You're giving them much less options on how to hold it and much less firepower on site itself. And generally, countering roamers with teammates is much more efficient and much quicker than trying to do it by yourself. That's why countering by yourself is generally not worth the risk. Always bring a buddy. A very important thing to remember is that there is no best operator for countering roamers. Although some of them do have their advantages, the main thing you need for countering a roamer is just teamwork and coordination. You can do this with any batch of operators, it really doesn't matter as long as you know what you're doing. Now, a lot of people think that countering roamers starts in the action phase, but really it begins in the prep phase. During the prep phase, the attackers are given 45 seconds to drone out the map. Using their drones, they can find any bit of information they want, where the objective is, who they're facing, and where they're going. And an issue I see for a lot of players, even myself included, is saving their drone. A lot of people will just send the drone right into the objective, try to scan or ID as many people as they can, and then have the drone die. Now, this is a huge waste. In an ideal situation, I would say have one, maybe two max people send in their drone and find out what operators are on the defending team. Everyone else should be using their drones to set up in choke points and places outside of sight to see who is leaving and who's staying on site. This can give you a huge leg up on the defenders if you know where they're headed. This is an amazing way to prevent spawn killing if you know where they're going to set up. This knowledge gives you the chance to change your spawn if necessary, or to pre-aim a window or a door if you know that they're going to be there. This can even lead to giving you the advantage if you manage to kill the spawn killer before they can kill you. So now the best way to do this is to hide the drone off the objective site, usually in a hallway or a doorway. My personal favorite is to put it inside of a drone hole. There's a bit of an issue in this game where sound from the drones does not go through drone holes, and vice versa. So if you have a drone inside of a vent or a drone hole, it won't hear anything from the objective site until you leave the drone hole. But like I said, since it's a two-way street, that means the defenders also can't hear your drone. This means that you can set it up properly on the other side of a drone vent, see where they're going, and they won't know that your drone is there. Obviously, this isn't always possible, so if that can't be done, then I think the next best thing is to hide your drone among a bunch of props on the map. Obviously, the best type of props would be anything that's really dark that would conceal your drone and hopefully make it blend in. I will say that on the overall, I think more often than not, defenders usually find the drones and kill them even if you're trying to hide them super well. Drones aren't very consistent from attackers to defenders. It might look like your drone is perfectly hidden in a corner, where on their screen it's bugging out and moving around. So that's why there's the alternative of just leaving the building itself and sending the drone to where you're going to spawn. This is generally the best practice and what I try to do if I remember to try to save my drone. Once you know where the objective is and who's on site, you really don't need to be droning anymore, so just leave as quickly as you can and send the drone to wherever you plan on spawning. You can pick it up right away, and then you'll have two drones for the rest of the round. And something important to remember, something that I actually didn't know until about 1 year ago, is that you can't have two drones out at the same time. So if you're planning on leaving your drone somewhere hidden, you remember to use that drone before you throw out your second drone that you get. Otherwise, as soon as you throw that second drone, the first one is destroyed immediately, and you have no way to get it back. So the bottom line of the prep phase is to save your drone. Make sure to at least know where the objective is. Everything else is just icing on the cake if you can get it while also getting your drone out alive. When it comes to countering roamers, knowledge is power, and you can't have knowledge without a drone. When it comes to countering roamers in the action phase, there's two methods to approach it. One is hunting down the roamers and taking them out individually and then pushing site, while the other is just ignoring the roamers and heading straight for site. Now the second strategy is a little more uncommon, as it only really works if the defending team has 3 or 4 roamers off site. When this happens, you can just beeline it for the objective, take out the 1 or 2 people on site, and then secure it before the roamers can even get back to the objective. But since this video is about countering roamers, I'm going to talk more about hunting them down. When you're hunting down the roamers, you want to be working with a teammate. The best course of action is to have one of you drone ahead while the other one pushes. The person on the drone will be checking every corner, making sure no one is hiding anywhere in the rooms, while the person pushing holds angles and tries to hear if anyone's coming. Now for the most part, the person who's going to be on drone duty is the one who has 2 drones, because if one of the defenders destroys it, then you have a backup one that you can use and it's not that big of a deal. Being the person on drone duty requires a lot of map knowledge, as it's very important to know how to move around the map as well as call out where people are. You're not going to be much help on drone duty if you don't know how to communicate with your team and let them know what's happening. Again, map knowledge is a very broad topic, so I'll cover it more in future episodes. Now another tip while droning out the map is to not jump. Now while your drone does move a lot quicker jumping than just moving, it does create a lot of noise, and this will definitely warn a roamer if they can hear your drone jumping down the hall. And since your drone makes a lot of noise while jumping, it'll be very hard to hear anyone moving around. And the last tip I can give for people who are droning is to peek corners with the drones. When you're moving side to side with the drone, it makes very little noise and can give you a lot of knowledge of what's happening. A drone peeking around a corner is very hard for someone to see, while you can see a lot from the drone. And on top of that, if they don't hear it, they won't even know that you've seen them. A good strategy to run is to peek a corner with the drone, and then hop off the drone and shoot the person through the wall, or get your teammate who's pushing with you to shoot them while you're on the drone. Now the only time I'd say to plan a little differently is when you're trying to hunt down a caveira. So for situations like this, or even just in general trying to counter roamers, I highly recommend sweeping the building. Sweeping the building is a tactic where you push from the opposite side of the map from where objective is and clear out every single room along the way. This works a lot more for maps that are very linear, where the roamers don't have 10 different ways to get to a room. This way, as your team is pushing and sweeping the entire building, you know for a fact that the roamers can't be behind you, as there's no way for them to get there. The strategy works really well with shields, as they're able to push ahead and basically act as a drone. They can move ahead and scout out the room, let you know what's happening, and you can peek over the shoulder ready to shoot if anyone pushes. But if you don't have a shield, you can just move and drone. All you have to do is just let your team know where the enemy is and how to deal with them. This sweeping the building tactic also works really well to counter Cav, as she has no way to get behind you if you've already swept the building and blocked off any flanking routes. And for the last part of the information segment, I want to talk about Jackal. First, I'll say flat out that Jackal obviously has the best kit to counter roamers. However, he does exactly what a good drone does, but also lets the enemy know that you're tracking them. A good drone can push into a room and not be seen, and you can tell your team where they are. This gives the defender a false sense of security because they think that they're completely invisible, but really you know exactly where they are. Meanwhile with Jackal, as soon as you start tracking them, they will fall back to sight and hope that you don't catch them along the way. And forcing them back to sight can actually make the final push a lot harder, as they'll have more people defending. Ideally, what you want to do is pick off the roamers and make the final push easier, not make it harder for yourself. As with everything, there's obviously situations where Jackal actually works really well, and you can easily pincer a person. If you're tracking someone and know they're on one side of the building, you can push from multiple different angles and force them into a corner. However, I find this to be a more rare case, as most players that I know, as soon as they start getting tracked, they will run back to sight immediately. So overall, I'd argue that any operator can do exactly what Jackal does with a drone, and probably do it better. He does have his uses, but definitely to consider picking someone else to counter roamers instead of Jackal. Now that concludes the information aspect of this video. Now we're going to move on to the game show portion. This is the part where I ask you guys a question, give you 10 seconds on the clock to come up with an answer, and then give you my answer and the reasoning behind it. And as always, remember, my answer is not necessarily always correct. There's a lot of different variables that go into every situation, and my answer is a more broad approach that will apply to a lot of different situations, but not necessarily all of them. And at the end of the quiz, I'll put up a score on the board to let you guys know how you did based on how many questions you got right. Now with that all covered, let's get into the questions. Question 1. Should you ever mark a roamer with your drone? With 10 seconds on the clock, go. Time's up. And the answer is no. You should never let the roamer know what you know. Not marking can lead to a very easy wallbang, as you can line up a shot while they think that they're perfectly safe. And even in situations where the roamer's trying to kill the drone because they know it's there, you still shouldn't mark. Because as far as the roamer's aware, only one person knows where they are, the person on the drone. And because of that, they might gamble the risk and not run away. But as soon as you mark them, then they know that the entire attacking team knows where they are. And at that point, they'll just abandon ship and get out as fast as they can. But if you don't mark, you can tell your teammates where they are and you can coordinate a push to kill them. And always remember, marking is never worth the 25 points. Question 2. Who's the only operator that can have 2 drones out at once? With 10 seconds on the clock, go. Time's up, and the answer is Twitch. Twitch has the ability to deploy both of her drones at the same time. This can be amazing for hunting down roamers if one drone's too far away or if it's in a really good place that you want to leave it. This is one of the many reasons why Twitch is a top tier counter roamer. The other reasons being that her drone is absolutely silent and makes no noise, and that her drone can be used to hurt people and either make them panic or focus on trying to kill the drone. This gives your teammates a chance to run in and secure the kill while they're distracted. The one thing you should always remember though is that people will always try to target Twitch drones as quickly as they can. So make sure you use them wisely and don't have them die right away. Question 3. Which operator should hunt roamers and which should push objective? With 10 seconds on the clock, go. Time's up. Now I did mention earlier in the video that any operator can hunt down roamers, which is true, but there are definitely other operators that should primarily push objective just so they don't die before getting there. I believe that the operators that should be focusing on objective instead of roamers are Thermite, Thatcher, Hibana, Glaz, and Fuse. Meanwhile, Sledge, Ash, Twitch, Monty, Blitz, IQ, Buck, Blackbeard, Capitao, and Jackal can all focus on the roamers. There are a few that mix in between, like Monty can push objective or go for roamers, and same with Buck, and Capitao because of his firebolts. And yes, anyone can hunt down roamers, but you really don't want your Thatcher running off to try to hunt down a Jaeger when the walls to sight are bandited and you have no way in without him. Remember, at the end of the day, this is a team-based game, not a kill-based game. This isn't Call of Duty where you have to run after everyone and just try to get a kill. You actually have to try to secure an objective. Question 4. What happens if you track Cav as Jackal? With 10 seconds on the clock, go. Time's up. Cav is the only defender that has an interesting interaction with Jackal's Inox tracker. If you track Cav's footsteps, it'll work as normal as long as she's not in silent step. As soon as Cav goes into silent step, it does not ping her location anymore. So tracking Cav for the most part is absolutely useless. Any good Cav player will just go into silent step as soon as the tracker is about to update to prevent it from pinging their last location. So I recommend if you ever track Cav's footsteps, just move on and try to track someone else. Really, it'll only be useful in the first ping, because most of the time Cav won't be ready for that and you can catch her out of silent step. But after that, it's pretty much useless. And that's it for the normal questions. Now we're going to move on to the bonus question. This one's more of a situation. In this situation, you're Ash. Your friend is Monty and you've run out of drones. You're pushing the upstairs of Oregon. You know someone's up there, but you're not entirely sure where. What should you do? With 10 seconds on the clock, go. Time's up, and the answer is, tell your teammate to go upstairs and bait the shit out of him. Since you have no idea where the roamer is, just tell him to go ahead and push. Once the roamer pushes out and kills him, you know where he is and you can clean up the scraps. This is by far the best strategy to ensure that you get MVP every single match. And that concludes today's episode of Siege School. Hopefully you guys learned something new and put these strategies to use. And as promised at the beginning of the video, here are the ranks based on how many questions you got right in this video. Let me know how well you did in the comments down below. I did try to make the questions in this episode a little harder as people were saying they were way too easy even for beginners. And add in if you think they're still too easy or if you think they're just right. And before I finish this video, 2 small plugs. 1, I stream Siege every single day on Twitch starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. I usually play for about 4 to 5 hours and try to explain throughout the stream what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. As well, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them in the chat. I read every single message in chat. And 2, I just want to plug the shirt. The Siege School shirt is for sale on my merch store. If you like the design, consider buying one as it really helps support the channel. And that is it for this episode. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in next week's episode. Take care.